Arrests have been made in the murder of a tech and cannabis CEO. Stocks are seeing a lift from the recent news about cannabinoids and COVID. And speaking of stock, Aurora is in the news once again. Keep listening to hear why. It's Monday, May 25th, and this is your TRICHOMES Morning Buzz.
Broadcasting live from the TRICHOMES.com studios in Southern California. It's time for your Morning Buzz. We bring you late-breaking news that keeps you up to date with what's happening in the cannabis industry.
Several former employees have been arrested for the murder of tech and cannabis CEO Tushar Atre. Police are holding 4 suspects for the 2019 murder of tech and cannabis CEO Tushar Atre, according to a Silicon Valley Business Journal report. The suspects include 22-year-old Kurtis Charters and 19-year-old Kaleb Charters, 2 brothers, as well as 23-year-old Joshua James Camps and 22-year-old Stephen Lindsay. While Camps, Lindsay, and Kurtis Charters are currently being held in the Santa Cruz County Jail with no bail, Kaleb Charters is awaiting extradition to California from Michigan. According to Ganjapreneur, police say that Atre was forcibly abducted from his Santa Cruz home on October 1, 2019, by 3 suspects and was moved to the rural location of his cannabis business in an SUV stolen from his house. Atre was found several hours later in the SUV, dead from a gunshot wound. "We believe this was a robbery for monetary value. We do believe this was a planned event," said Santa Cruz Sheriff Lieutenant Brian Cleveland. Atre was best known for his role as founder and CEO of the successful corporate web design firm AtreNet. He was a relative newcomer to the cannabis space at the time of his murder.
Cannabis stocks are seeing a surge after reports of benefits in combating coronavirus. According to TheStreet.com, shares of cannabis-related stocks and ETFs surged late last week and continue to rise in after-hours action following a report suggesting that some strains of medical cannabis could be used to fight coronavirus infections. These shares include Tilray, Canopy Growth, Kronos Group, and some others. TheStreet.com says the moves came after a report in the New York Post said a group of Canadian researchers has found several strains of cannabis that appear to limit the routes the coronavirus uses to infect cells. The research, if you recall from when we first covered the story, was first reported in April and has yet to be peer-reviewed and suggested that medical cannabis could block up to 70% of the proteins used by the virus to infect cells. The effective strains of cannabis all had large amount of cannabidiol, CBD, but were low in THC.
Aurora is to acquire a U.S. hemp company, making it the second largest CBD market share. According to Ganjapreneur, Aurora Cannabis is making its way into the U.S. market after agreeing to acquire Reliva in a $40 million all-stock deal. Reliva's products are sold in more than 20,000 retail locations in the U.S., and the company holds the second largest CBD market share in the country. According to a press release, Reliva has generated positive adjusted earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization over the previous 12-month period. Aurora is required to generate positive adjusted EBITDA by the end of 2020's first fiscal quarter as part of its debt pact signed in February, Motley Fool reports. Aurora said Reliva stood out among a lengthy list of potential partners due to their positive EBITDA, focus on regulatory, testing, and compliance protocols, their management team's extensive experience selling and marketing regulated consumer packaged goods, and strong relationships with critical trade partners that provide a U.S. national distribution footprint. Michael Singer, executive chairman and interim CEO of Aurora, said the partnership will create an international cannabinoid leader that we believe can deliver robust revenue and profitable growth. Miguel Martin, CEO of Reliva, called the enterprise a significant opportunity to accelerate sales growth for Reliva in the United States and internationally. The deal, which marks Aurora's first foray into the U.S. cannabis industry, is expected to close in June.
And that was today's Buzz. Have a response to any of the stories on today's show? You can comment on these stories and more when you sign up on TRICHOMES.com and join the cannabis community.
And be sure to keep up with us on all social media platforms. You can also subscribe to our podcast and the TRICHOMES YouTube channel for daily content. My name is Allison Ben-Yehuda.
And my name is David Fortin. Take care.